What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner Fan 2016 here, and today we have another model plane unboxing video for you guys. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. Today we got another unboxing right here, a single box right here from West Coast Diecast. So this is like an order I have from them. I ordered some CRP models from here, so CRP models will be featured in this video alongside with one extra model that I did purchase. However, with these CRP models, because I think these came out in April 2024, it took a couple of months before they actually got shipped. Not sure if it has to do with like delays and all that stuff, but other than that, I'm just super excited. So without being said, not gonna waste further time. I'll still talk while I'm unboxing this. But yeah, let's get started. So yeah, once again, I did purchase a couple of CRP models, and one model in particular that I'm super excited to add to my collection, and it's a narrow-body aircraft, by the way. And yeah, West Coast Diecast, of course. If you're new to collecting, then West Coast Diecast is one of the best stores you can purchase your models from. They have great customer service, and overall, I would highly recommend getting some models from them. And yeah, they're based out of like British Columbia, like in the Vancouver area in British Columbia. But overall, just really glad to have another model from them. So, got the package opened up. And yeah, okay, so I see something. But first, of course, I got my business card from West Coast Diecast, so thank you very much. Now, I'm gonna have to like take this out. We'll put this in aside. So, okay, just to make sure. Okay, just making sure. Alright. Okay, so we should be good. So, let's get started with the boxes. So, inside this box, I'm gonna take it out one by one. So, we're gonna get started. Actually, I think they're wrapped like in one go. Or I could just like... Okay, here we go. Alright. Whew. Well, I see a model right there. You guys are seeing it right now, but as I take out the boxes. Alrighty, and here we go. Ooh, it took a while. Well, here's a bubble wrap. Well, we're gonna get things started with, as I take all these out. Alright, model should be out. Okay, so here we go. So let's get started on the top. So first up, we have the altitude models, one for the scale United Airlines Airbus A320 in the Evo Blue livery. Super excited to now have this in my collection, and yeah, I've been wanting to have a United A320 for a long time, and I'm really glad to have it from Altitude Models. Now here are my two CRP models right there, so I'm gonna like make sure I take them out. They have some, I think there's some information, yeah, kind of like personal information that I don't want to show you guys, so I don't want to take care of this. But first, we have this beauty right here. This is the EVA Air Boeing 787-10 in the Star Alliance livery. Super excited to have this in my collection, and a new international airline. I've been wanting to have EVA Air for a very long time, especially with my flight I had last year during my Asia trip during the summer. And overall, I'm really happy to finally have EVA Air in my collection. Once again, there's like information. Oops. Yeah, you're seeing some stuff right there. And second model, I'm super excited to also add this airline as well. It's a new airline, and once again, it's an airline I kind of want for my collection, for my international collection for quite a while, but I'm super excited to have this. But coming into the frame, we have the Air India Boeing 777-200LR. Super excited to now have an Air India model in my collection, and overall, really glad to have this. Like these two international airlines in my collection. Well, the United A320 is another great addition, but these are CRP models. So, yeah, once again, these are all my three models from West Coast Diecast. And yeah, the CRP models, these two models kind of like took a bit of a delay. Not sure why though, but yeah. But I'm glad they're here in the first place. So, I think what I do want to start off first is the United A320, and then later I'm gonna have to do the, like, all of the CRP models. So, want to start off with the United A320 first, since that's a model I've been looking forward to. And overall, I'm just super excited to unbox these models. So without being said, let's get started with the Altitude Models United A320. Alright, let's begin this unboxing with the Altitude Models 1/400 scale United Airlines Airbus A320. Super excited to have this in my collection. A well-needed model. Well, technically saying, well, I can say it's a well-needed model for my United Airlines collection, and I've been wanting to have a United A320 for a very long time. Now, this is not the first time that a model plane manufacturer made an EVA Blue United A320, as Aero Classics did make this back then. However, many collectors say that the Aero Classics mold of the Airbus A320 isn't really that good, so they kind of like waited until like either Gemini jets or engine models can do this. But somehow Altitude models made this first, made this before Gemini and NG did. Not sure when NG or Gemini is gonna do their take on this, but I do have this beautiful Altitude Models version. So let's get started with the box review. You got the Airbus A320 tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got a very nice box design representing the United Evo Blue livery. You got the aircraft registration, November 407 Uniform Alpha. You got the 1/400 scale die-cast aircraft model, and then you got the Altitude Models logo right there. Moving on to the sides, you got one side, this is the bottom side of the box. Here's the left, or this is the right side, you got 1/400 scale and Airbus A320. The top kind of seems a little bit similar, but you got blue background, and then it's almost similar, but you got the United globe right there, and then all your various stuff right there. And then moving on the back, you got all your various like details. You got the specifications of the Airbus A320, so it seats 150 seats. And then you can pause and read all this. Here, let me like just put it closer. So you can pause and read all this, so you can like read it more carefully. So yeah, that's that. Those are the specifications of the Airbus A320. You got the Airbus A320 200 tiles right there, your warning hazards, and then all your choking, like all your various other hazards right there, and made in China tiles as well. So, super excited to get into this model. So without being said, let's unbox this, and overall, really glad to have a Evo Blue A320 in my collection as he comes out. Now, I did see a cool, like I think I watched some collectors unboxing this model, and they got a very cool, cool packaging design for this. So as I pull it out, this is what it looks like. So as you can see, it's surrounded, the full cradle is surrounded by styrofoam. Now I think this helps with protection, but what I also like is the fact that there's like covers for the fence tip winglets. So that's a nice, that's really clever for what Altitude Models is doing. But we're gonna take out the cradle. If I can try to like do this. Okay. Ooh. All right, there we go. All right, so let's take out the cradle. Cool. United A320. So I do have a A321neo and A319, both in the Evo Blue livery. Now this A320 is coming into my collection, and overall I really like Altitude Models. I know they're like based in out of like the Panda Models mold, but still, I still like it either way. But other than that, as I take it out, just to make sure that the quality control is good. So the wings are good. What about the horizontal stabilizers? Also looking good. What about the tail? Look for antennas, and there she is. Wow, man, this looks absolutely gorgeous. Wow, United A320 Evo Blue in a it's a really good mold. The Panda A320 mold looks absolutely great, and yeah, I'm really glad to see this mold coming intact. So here she is, the United Airlines Airbus A320 in the Evolution Blue livery. Wow, that looks gorgeous. That's all I can say. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Great work, Altitude Models, and I'm really glad to have this in my collection. And here's the Altitude Models 1/400 scale United Airlines Airbus A320 in the Evo Blue livery. This looks absolutely really cool, and great work, Altitude Models, on this. This looks so fantastic. It's really good. I love the printing of the livery. The mold itself looks absolutely very nice. It is in the Panda mold, but overall, I think this looks really fantastic. And yeah, really glad to have a United A320 in my collection at long last. So let's get started with the review of the model. So you got your cockpit windows right there. You got the nose shape of the aircraft. I think the nose shape of the Airbus A320 looks very nice. I like the fact that this has the round shape, like the nose area is round on this side. Not sure if I think there should have been like, I think it should have like leveled off somewhere over here. It could have been a lot smaller, but other than that, I digress. I still think Altitude Models did a good job on this model. You got your various like details. This could be like the pitot tube details. You got some stack port details right there. You got the nose landing gear right there, containing the nose landing gear, like the registration of the aircraft, part of the registration on the nose landing gear door right there. You got the connecting people uniting the wheel tiles right there. I know they're pretty small for a 1/400 model, but yeah, that's what it says on most of United's planes. You got your Star Alliance logo right there. You got your L1 boarding door and your top antenna. Moving on to the middle section of the aircraft right there. Of course, you got your navy blue swoop right there, which runs all the way to the forward area of the aircraft, to the aft area, around the empennage. And then you got your gray underbelly right there. Here's your IAE V2500 engines right there. Of course, they're well proportional in size, as you can see. Looking very nice, and I also love the various details that are added into the engines as well. Alongside the engine pylons, you got your big billboard United tiles right there. United billboard tiles in that case. Here's your emergency exit doors right there. And then you got your windows right there, which I think they did a good job on the printing of the windows right there. Some say, I mean, like some models, in some models, passenger windows may be printed a little bit too low compared to the cockpit windows, or maybe the cockpit windows may be printed a little too high, but I think this is okay. So yeah, great work altitude models. And then once again, as I previously mentioned, there are your emergency exit doors. Moving on to the wing of the aircraft, so here's the wing. You got your various CSFF details right there, aileron details, spoiler details, and all your various slats, flaps, and then your fairings right there. And then there's your emergency exit indicators right there. And now moving on, you got your fence tip wing, like the fence tip winglet on this A320, painted in blue, which I think Altitude Models also did a good job on getting the size of the fence tip winglet correct. Moving on to the back area of the aircraft, there's your antenna right there. So here's your bottom antenna, there's your top antenna, and then your Wi-Fi dome over there as well. You got the aircraft registration, November 407, Uniform Alpha, and then you got your US flag. You also got your L2 door right there, and then the aircraft ship number right there, at like the very top right. Moving on to the empennage of the aircraft, so this is where the swoop ends. There's your APU, and then you also got your horizontal stabilizers, and I also like the fact they also added in like the trim markers on this side of the aircraft right there, so really good job on the details on that. And then you got the United Airlines Evo Blue tail, which I think they did a phenomenal job on the printing. Some say it might be a little too dark, but looking at my camera, I think this is about alright. It's about alright, so love the details of the Evo Blue livery. Once again, I think that's gotta be my favorite United livery of all time. So yeah, really glad to have this. Here's the front section of the aircraft. As you can see, the cockpit windows, I think they're well printed, as you can see. Looking very nice. And then you also got some fan blade details on the IAE engines, and then you also got some dorsal fins on the engines as well. So really great work on that, and they're also well proportional in size as well. And then moving on to the starboard section, let me zoom out. Alright, so here is the starboard section of the aircraft. You got your arch doors, you got your forward cargo bin right there, and then your aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to the top view of the aircraft, so let me just position it. So here's the top view of the plane. You got your various like details alongside with the red beacon light over there. Here's your bottom section of the aircraft. There's a lot more details at the bottom, as you can see. You got your various like details on the rat turbine, your landing gear doors, and then you got your stand hole right there. No altitude miles branding on the bottom. Okay, let me just position her. Here's the front section of the aircraft. I love the wing flex, not really like wing flex, but the ground flex on the wings. So really great work, Altitude Models like that. Not sure if the nose landing gear appears to be crooked. It kind of seems like if I just point it in the middle, but nothing really too special. And then moving on to the back area of the aircraft, here's the back of the plane. So overall, great work, Altitude Models on this model. And yeah, they've been making a lot of like models. Of course, I got the two jet blues, and then they also made like a Air Canada A320 as well. But they made a lot of like US models like this model, for example, and the jet blues. But overall, I'm really glad to have a United A320 Evo Blue in my collection, and just United A320 in general. Not sure who's gonna make a Continental Globe A320, but we'll see in the future. But there are a couple like United A320s that are still in the Continental Globe livery, while there's a handful of Evo Blues. But other than that, I do want to like get this model because I do want a United A320 for my United collection, so I'm really glad to have it. So great work, Altitude Models, excuse me, on this model right here, and I'm really glad to have this for my United collection. Alright, so that is it for like the narrow body side. Now we're gonna move on to the CRP models now, and we do want to talk about the CRP models of these like two models in particular. So yeah, just super excited to have these free models with me from NG. So without being said, let's get into the CRP models. Alright, and here we go with the NG CRP models. So as you can see, as I mentioned before, I did have two free models from NG Models, all from their CRP program in their exchange model. So I ended up getting International Airlines, and I think I got these during the April batch, like when the exchange model was open in April this year. I ended up getting these models right here, so really glad to have them. And yeah, I'm kind of like diversing my international fleet. So these are new international airlines added to my collection, and there's also a new aircraft type, of course, you're seeing on your left. I'll go into that further details later down the road, but for now, I'm really glad to have these models in my collection. So once again, I have the EVA Air 787-10 in the Star Alliance livery, and the Air India 777-200LR. Super excited to have these models in my collection, but don't want to like unbox both of them right away, as I want to unbox them one by one. So what I want to start with first is the EVA Air 787-10, And then after that, I'll do the 777-200LR from Air India. So, because like I do want to like do this EVA Air, since EVA Air is a really special airline for me. So with that being said, well, not really as special, but it's an airline that I got to try for the first time back in like my summer trip to the Philippines back in 2023. So with that being said, let's get started with this EVA Air 7810, and then we're gonna proceed from there. Alright, let's get started with the NG models 1/400 scale EVA Air Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner in the Star Alliance livery. Really glad to finally have EVA Air in my collection at long last, especially I had those flights back in 2023 when I went to Asia during my family trip. EVA Air is a really great airline, I'll say, and I'm not sure if I uploaded those flight reports already, but yeah, kind of like took a bit of a delay on getting those flight reports done, but I do want to get this model since I did flew with EVA Air, so really excited for this. So let's get started with the box review. So you got the Boeing 787-10 Dreamliners, the Dreamliner tiles right there, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got the Star Alliance logo, and then you got your various light colors of the Star Alliance livery and EVA Air. So you got green on top right there, and like a slanted light like this, and then it fades into a white and a gray representing the Star Alliance livery, and then you can see a bit of like tidbits of the Star Alliance squares right there. And yeah, once again, you got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got the NG models logo right there, 1/4 scale collectible model, die-cast metal. You got the EVA Air logo right there, Boeing licensed product, and then you got the aircraft registration, which is Bravo 17812. I got to see this aircraft when I landed in Taiwan airport for the first time, and yeah, we were like the plane I was on, we were taxiing to the gate, and I somehow saw this aircraft, and I was like, oh my god, it's the EVA Air 7810, and I got a very nice picture of her while I was at my seat on the window seat of my 777 flight. So here's that photo you're seeing on your screen right now, and overall, I'm really glad to have this photo in my plane spotting collection, the plane spotting like album in that case. I took this from a phone because I did not have my camera out at that time, but I still think the shot turned out very good, to be honest, and overall, really glad to have this model because I did see this aircraft. I also requested NG to do the EVA Air 777-300ER Star Alliance livery as well, because that was the exact aircraft I've flown on going to Taiwan and Manila, Bravo 16715. I think that's the registration of that aircraft, so NG, if ever you're stumbling upon this video, please make that EVA Air 777-300ER Star Alliance, please. Bravo 16715, pretty please, because I really want that model in my collection. Anyways, you got one side right here, so just at the bottom, you can see like a gray background and the aircraft itself. You got the NG logo right there. Here's the right side of the box. You got a kind of like, it's almost like gunmetal gray almost. And then you got like a gray color and then a white background, and then you got the EVA Air tiles right there. Here's the top, which is like mostly green, but you also got some white areas right there. And here's the left side of the box, kind of like that gradient green and white, yeah, kind of like a graded green over here. And then you got like a very bright green right there. Here's the back side of the box right there. So here's, yeah, pretty much the same box. You got the warning hazards, made in China, Boeing licensed product, and then you got the social media page right there, and the NG logo, of course. And the item number this model is 56019er. So super excited to now have this model in my collection. And once again, first EVA Air. There's like a bit of dents on the box right there, so there's kind of like a dent somewhere on like the top left corner over here. But I hope the model is intact. But yeah, that's kind of like, I think it has to do with the shipping process, but yeah, it is what it is. But other than that, super excited to have my first EVA Air model, and yeah, it's been a while since I had a 787-10 in my collection, or like got a 787-10. Not sure when was the last time I had this, or maybe it was that KLM 787-10 I got from 2022. I think it's that, but yeah, it's been a while since I had this, but I do want to get this once again. So as it comes out, and there she is. But first, I do have my CRP, which is kind of like weird since this is a CRP model I got, yet they still gave me a CRP card. But on that, thank you NG Models for that. This is in the January 2023 format, so a bit of an old CRP right there. Once again, this was made in 2023. Look at that model right there. She looks very fantastic, and yeah, EVA Air, welcome to the welcome to my international model plane collection. Alright, so let me see if I can try to take her off on the tail. Ooh, she feels slippery already. Like, she feels slippery, so I'm trying to make sure that this does not slip out of my hands. Oop. Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Is it me or there's like a... Okay, there was something. Yeah, there was something at the front, but I'm not sure. Like some kind of like piece. Wait a minute. What just fell? Okay, I was just kind of like curious. I don't know what was that, but I still want to take a look at the wings. So let me take a look at the wings. Wings are good. Okay, horizontal stabilizers and the tail. And there she is. Oh, wow, this looks really nice. That just looks so amazing right there. The EVA Air 7810 in the Star Alliance livery. That's... wow. This is a job well done from NG right here. Once again, I'm really glad to have my first EVA Air model in my collection, and looking forward to hopefully get a current EVA Air livery in the future. Like current EVA Air livery model in my collection at some point. But on that, I'm really satisfied with this model already. Once again, great work NG Models on this EVA 7810. And here's the NG Models 1/400 scale EVA Air Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner in the Star Alliance livery. Once again, I'm really glad to have EVA Air in my collection, and yeah, after flying with EVA Air last year, I'm really glad to have a Model 1 in my collection. I just hope NG can make the 777 Star Alliance or a 777 regular livery. But other than that, this 787-10 will do for now. Not sure if I also want to get the current livery EVA Air 787-10, but I mean, that'll come later. But for now, I'm really glad to have this in my collection once again. So I got the cockpit windows. I think NG Models did a wonderful job representing the, doing the nose shape of the 787. You also got your radome right there and your outline. And then you got your Star Alliance logo right there. And what I found very unique on most Chinese airlines is they place the registration at the very front. So as you can see, there's the aircraft registration, Bravo 17812. You got your pitot tubes right there. And yeah, I think it's mainly like airlines that are like in mainland China. So take Air China, China Southern, and then China Eastern, for example. But you also got Taiwan as well, since technically they're basically at the Republic of China. But yeah, so yeah, really cool. And like that's a very unique registration placement for most Chinese airplanes. So really cool. You got your L1 boarding door right there. So here's your L1 boarding door. You got your nose landing gear and the nose landing gear door containing the last 4 numbers of the registration of the aircraft. You got your EVA Air logo right there, and then you got your SAG port details right there. Moving on to the middle area, like kind of close in the middle, you got your big Star Alliance logo right there. Of course, this is like the representation of the Star Alliance livery, or like that's basically what the Star Alliance livery looks like. You got your top antennas and your Wi-Fi dome. So yeah, that's one top antenna right there. Here's your L2 boarding door as well. Here's your GENX engines, which I can basically tell since it has the GE logo, which I think NG Models did a great job on the printing of the GE logo. And then you also got some various like great details on the panels right there. You got your chevron tooth design of the aircraft, and then your exhaust, which I think NG Models also did a great job on. And then you got your windows, which I think NG Models also did a nice job on printing the windows. You also got your main landing gear as well. Alright, now if I can try to like hold this model to look at the wings without it slipping on my hands, let me see if I can do, because this model is oily, so yeah. But yeah, some models are like that. So as you can see, here is the wing details. You got your fairings. I also like the fact that they also added in the fuel injection tab right there, this area right there. You also got your rake wingtips, which I think NG Models once again did a great job on the rake wingtips of the 787. You also got your fairings, and then, I think I already mentioned fairings already, but you got your slat details, flap details, spoiler details, and aileron details, and all your printed details on the wings right there, the top part of the wing. Alright, let me just set her down, and then we're gonna move on to the back area of the aircraft, so kind of like right here. You got your LC door right there, and then you got your back antenna, so here are your back antennas right there. You also got your bottom antenna. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the bottom, yep, you can see it, the bottom antenna is right there. There's your bulk compartment, which it's a really interesting placement of the bulk compartment on the 787. So I think that's what it is. So here's the bulk compartment right there. You got your L4 door and the Dreamliner tiles right there. And then you got Bravo 17812 on the back area of the aircraft right there. Moving on to the empennage area of the plane. You got your APU, a very nice APU for the 787, and then you also got your horizontal stabilizers. And I also like the fact that you molded in like this portion of like the, guessing this could be like the elevator tabs, I'm guessing, but I love on how that's molded into this model right here, so great work NG. And then you got the Star Alliance tail, so the Star Alliance logo in a black background, which I think NG Models did a wonderful job on the printing of the logo right there. Moving on to the front area of the plane, as you can see, front looks good. You got your emergency exit hatch right there, and then you got some various fan details on the GE and X engines, which I think engine models did a good job on. Now, is it me or like, I think something's wrong with the, am I looking at it correctly? Because I have a feeling there's something wrong with the nose landing gear on this side, on the starboard section. Yeah, there's something wrong with the nose landing gear part. I may have to inspect that a little more, but yeah, there's kind of like a dent on the front over there on this side. But here's your starboard section of the plane. So you got your R doors, so you got R1, R2, and then at the very back you got R3 and R4. But you got your forward cargo bin, which is located on this side of the aircraft. And then moving on to the back area of the plane, there's your aft cargo bin right there. Moving on to the top view of the aircraft, so here's the top view of the plane. Overall, nice top view details. I mean, not much as compared to the bottom. And speaking of bottom, here's the bottom section of the plane right there, so you can see. I love the fact that there's molded air intakes on this model. I mean, not really like a good representation of the, what do you call it, the air intakes, but I think it's still good. You also got your stand hole as well, and of course your bottom antenna, and then you got the bottom details of the GE and X engines. And then, as you can see, you got the Bravo 17812 registration at the, this is the port wing. So yeah, most international airlines have the registration at the bottom of the wing. Alright, okay, I'm gonna have to like slowly try to do this. So here's the front section of the plane once more. As you can see, ground flex configurations on the wing, so that's absolute effort base from NG. And then here's the back area of the aircraft right there. So overall, once again, I'm really happy to finally have EVA Air in my collection. Once again, those flight reports, or those flights I did back in 2023, they were amazing, and yeah, flown under 777, and yeah, I really loved their cabin product. And yeah, once again, if ever I've uploaded those flight reports already, then yeah, you can check them out on my channel. If not, then you're gonna have to wait. But other than that, really glad to have EVA Air in my collection, and yeah, really nice model to really represent seeing this aircraft at Taiwan and flying with EVA Air. Once again, I hope NG can do a 777-300ER from EVA Air in the Starlines livery alongside a regular livery EVA Air 777. But other than that, I'm glad to have the Starlines 7810, and yeah, another nice addition to my Dreamliner collection. So great work, NG models, on this model right here from EVA Air. And we're gonna not waste further time, and we're gonna move on to our final model, which is the Air India 777. So I'm super excited for that model. So with that being said, let's move into the Air India 777. And the final model for this trio unboxing is the NG Models 1/400 scale Air India Boeing 777-200LR. Super excited to now have this airline in my collection. Not only this is my first Air India model in my collection, but this is also my first 777-200LR. I have the 200ER, and then I have the 300ER, but I never had an LR before, so really cool to finally have this in my collection. My first 777-200LR model. I originally was gonna go for the Qatar 777-200LR. Unfortunately, that is out of stock, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But if ever it gets sold on email for a cheap price, then I'll take it. But other than that, I'm really glad to have my first 222LR and Air India model in my collection. So I got the Boeing 777-200LR tiles right there. You got the CGI image of the aircraft. You got a very nice box art design where, like, really representing the Air India livery really, really well. You got the NG Models logo right there, 1/4 scale collectible model, die-cast metal. And then you got your Boeing licensed product right there. You got the Air India logo with their language and the English language. And then you got the aircraft registration, which is Victor Tango Alpha Echo Golf. I actually did see this aircraft back in San Francisco International Airport in January. And I'm not sure if I have an actual photo. Like, I don't know what happened to the photo. But yes, I did see this exact aircraft. However, I have no idea if I edited a photo or not. Or maybe I kept it somewhere in my hard drive, but yes, I did see this aircraft. But if ever I have a picture of one, then here it is. So that's the Air India 777-200LR. But yeah, I did see this aircraft once again, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about this livery when I get into the model review, because this Air India 777 looks different compared to other Air India 777s. So here's the box. This is the bottom side of the box right there. Here's the left side, or just the right side. You got the Air India logo. Here's the top, left side, and here's the back side of the box. Nothing really too special, but I think actually there is. Is there something different? Yeah, there is actually something different. So here's the back side. As you can see, there's like brighter lines. So that's the difference in the back. Also, they're like facing this way this time. So really cool, they added something at the back of the box to make it look different from the front. You got the NG Models logo right there, warning hazards, the social media pages right there, and the item number of this model is 72039er. So we're really excited to have this in my collection as well, and this is my second CRP model I got from that April batch. And I think they're gonna do another one in December, I think. But as I take her out, there she is, and I do have my CRP, which once again, I got this from the CRP mall, or exchange mall, yet they gave me a CRP. This is in the March 2023 format, so really nice to have another one of that. Here we go, yes. First Air India model of my collection. I bet my Indian viewers are gonna be happy about this. But as I take her out, oh man, oh wow, this looks so good. Wow. Oh, this looks so nice already. Okay, let me check the wings. Okay, wings are good. Wings are also good on this side. I do want to double check on the starboard wing just to make sure. Okay, that's good. And then how about the tail? And she is intact. Yes, she is. Oh my god. Air India, welcome to my collection. This looks so nice. Wow, wasn't expecting for NG's 777-200LR mold to look this nice. Especially like the livery printing of the Air India livery. That really looks it looks really nice, that's all I can say. Wow, what a way to finish off this unboxing. Once again, first Air India model and 777-200LR model of my collection. That looks amazing right there. Wow, I'm really glad to have this in my collection. Air India, welcome to my what am I saying? Okay, I need to rephrase that, but yeah, really glad to have this model in my collection, and yeah, what a phenomenal job from NG. Air India, welcome to my international fleet. And here's the NG models 1/400 scale Air India Boeing 777-200LR. Really fortunate to have Air India in my collection. It's like one of the biggest airlines to get from my collection, as I see many of them at SFO, from like all the $200 to 300 ERs. I think Air India should be a nice model for my international collection as well. So as I go through here, we're gonna get started with the front. So you got the cockpit windows right there. Very nice detail on the 777 nose. I think they may have slightly improved on the 777 nose. Just kind of like a little bit of a, just like a little bit, but I still think this looks nice. You got some stack port details right there. You got the radome right there. You got their language, which I'm not sure what that says. Once again, they are Indian. You also got the Indian flag right there alongside the Star Alliance logo. You got your L1 boarding door and the L2 boarding door. And as you can see, this is the IATA logo right there. So really cool on how Air India's 777. I think that's like the previous owner before it got bought to like a different owner, but yeah, this kind of shows that Air India has some of these on their aircrafts. You got some stackport details right there. You got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door containing part of the Alpha Echo Golf registration of the aircraft. You got the Air India titles, which I think there are like in their Indian language. So this could be the Indian language, excuse me, for Air India. And moving on to this side, you got your radome right there, and then your top antenna, and then you got the beautiful GE90 engine, which I think this is proportional in size right there, so really cool to see that. As I run through my pencil, yeah, I think that's enough ground clearance for the GE90, kinda, almost. But great work, NG Models, on replicating the GE90. You got your exhaust right there, and then you got a logo right there, which I think this is another part of Air India's logo. You got the main landing gear right there, a very unique landing gear for the Boeing 777. You also got your windows right there. And then moving on, let me just take something out real quick. Moving on to some wing details, you got all your various wing details. Not really gonna go into too much detail since you got pretty much the same. You got your spoilers, ailerons, flaps, fairings, and then your engine pylons as well. Slats, of course. But you also got your rake wingtip, which I think NG Models also did a good job on a rake wingtip. So almost like a 777-300ER wing, like a 300ER wing almost. But this is applied to a 777-200. So that's like the big difference between a 200ER and a 200LR. And then moving on to this side right here, so you got the back area, you got your LC door, you got another Wi-Fi dome right there, or just a SATCOM dome. You got your back antennas alongside your bottom antenna right there. You got the Boeing 777-200LR tires right there. And then moving on to the back area of the plane, close to the empennage, you got your L4 door and the aircraft registration, Victor Tango Alpha Echo Golf. And then you got some extra letterings right there. And yeah, this is where like the livery starts. So you got red details right there. So like red paint coming from this side of the aircraft all the way to like near the empennage area of the plane. And speaking of empennage, you got the empennage area right there. You got your APU, which I think they made an improvement on the empennage area of the APU, because like I kind of noticed on some of my NG 777s I have, this side kind of appears to be way curved, but I think this is actually more accurate, as you can see. So straight down, has like sharp edges at the sides. So great work, NG, on like doing improving your 777 molds. And then you also got your horizontal stabilizers, and I also like the feature of the rat turbine. Oh yeah, the APU door. So there's the APU housing door right there. So I like the attention to detail on that. And of course, you got your Air India tail right there with, I'm guessing this could be like a sun. And then you got a red background, and then you got the Air India tiles right there. Now what I do find very unique about Air India's livery, so as you can see, it has their Indian language right there, so Indian language on the fuselage, and then you also got the Air India tiles on the tail. But when you move on to the starboard side, which I'm gonna show you to you guys right now, on this side it's different, since you got the Air India English titles, so their Air India language at the fuselage, but you also got their language right there, the Air India and their Indian language on this side. So, well, on the tail to be exact. So really cool on how Air India's livery is like that. Also, I do want to mention that this aircraft, well, and this plane in particular, this is actually a Delta 777, like a ex-Delta 777-200 LR. Air India has a couple of leased 777-200 LR, like 200 LRs from Delta Airlines, so yeah, they sport this kind of livery instead of like the usual tan livery. And then the various architecture details on the windows. This is different on this model once again. As I said already, this used to be a Delta Airlines 777-200 LR, but since Delta retired those, Air India decided to take a couple of these. And then moving on, we're gonna move on to the front section. So kind of like the usual front section, I love the various details of the engines. And if I can focus on the cockpit windows, love the details at the very front right there. And of course, I already mentioned the starboard side, but yeah, we got your R doors right there. You got your forward cargo bin right there. And then moving on to the aft area, you got your aft cargo bin right there and your bulk compartment. Moving on to a top view of the aircraft, so let me just do this. So here's the top view of the aircraft. There's like a lot of detail for this aircraft, as you can see. I'm thinking these can be like warning labels right there, which I'm surprised to see like 6 warning labels at the top of the aircraft. So that's really interesting for Air India's planes right there. And then as you can see on the starboard wing, you got Victor Tango Alpha Echo Golf on that's printed on this side of the wing. Moving on to the bottom, you also got Victor Tango Alpha Echo Golf that's painted or printed in the port wing right there at the bottom. But here's your bottom section right there. Nice details on the bottom section. Of course, you got various details from the main landing gear doors to the rat turbine, which it's kind of like hard to see in red, but it's somewhere over here. You also got your stand hole as well. Moving on to the front section of the aircraft. Let me just position it like this. Okay, so here's the front view of the aircraft. So looking very nice right there. And then moving on to the back area. Oops, hope I don't latch that horizontal stabilizer. But here's the back section of the aircraft right there. So overall, really nice model from NG Models, and I'm really glad to have my first Air India model and my 777-200 LR model as well. Hope I could try to get the Qantas, I was thinking of something else, but Qatar 777-200 LR in the future from NG, but who knows, maybe some other manufacturer might do it, maybe JC or Aviation 400, but we'll just never know. But still happy with my first Air India model and 777-200 LR model right here from NG, and overall I think they did a great job on this model right here. So really nice efforts from NG right here. So that's it for this unboxing. So let me line up all my 3 models and we'll get into the conclusion. So with that being said, let me do that. And here are all the 3 models that I unboxed in today's unboxing. Once again, I got the United A320, EVA Air 7810 in the Star Alliance delivery, and the Air India 777-200 LR. Most of these models look absolutely amazing in my collection, and I'm really fortunate to have them. Of course, 2 of them are from NGCRP, and of course I got this altitude models, United A320, and I'm looking forward to use that United A320 in more of my airport updates, of course. But other than that, really glad to pick up some variety of these models right here, and yeah, nice to diverse my international fleet also. And of course, like collecting all these United models, but other than that, really glad to have these models in my collection once again. And both manufacturers did a wonderful job on designing these models in 1/400 scale, and I'm looking forward to displaying them on many of my airport updates in the future. So that's it for today's video. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And if you want to see more of my model plane unboxings and model plane content, then you can click on that playlist. It gives you all the model, or like the videos in general, of all my model plane content from unboxings, reviews, and a whole lot more. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.